Chapter 1: The Solitude of the Sea. Once upon a time, on a remote island off the coast of Scotland, there lived a lonely fisherman named Ewan. His days were spent casting his nets into the cold, churning sea, while his nights were spent mending his fishing gear by the dim light of a flickering candle. Ewan's only company was the sound of the wind and waves, and the island's few other inhabitants who lived far away on the opposite side of the island. Ewan loved the sea, feeling a deep connection to the water that surrounded his small cottage. He often sat at the edge of the shore, watching the ebb and flow of the tides, and wondering about the mysteries hidden beneath the waves. It was during these quiet moments that Ewan would listen to the stories of the old fishermen who spoke of the island's ancient legends and mythical creatures. One evening, as Ewan sat by the fire with his neighbors, old Mr. McLeod began to tell a tale of the mysterious Selkies.
"Ah, the Selkies,"
he began, his voice crackling like the fire before them.
"They are magical beings, half human, half seal, and masters of disguise. They can shed their seal skins to walk among us as humans, beautiful and enchanting."
Ewan listened, captivated by the idea of such creatures.
"But how would one recognize a Selkie?"
he asked. Mr. McLeod leaned in, his eyes twinkling with mischief.
"Well, my boy, they say that a Selkie's eyes always carry the glimmer of the sea, and their laughter sounds like the breaking of the waves."
From that night on, Ewan's dreams were filled with visions of graceful Selkies dancing on the shore. He found himself longing for the sight of one, hoping that the legends were true. One misty morning, as Ewan walked along the shore, he noticed a group of seals basking in the sun on a rocky outcropping. He paused, watching them curiously, when something extraordinary happened. One of the seals began to shudder, its skin peeling away to reveal a beautiful woman with long, flowing hair and eyes that sparkled like the sea. Ewan stood frozen, mesmerized by the sight of the woman. Her laughter echoed through the air, reminding him of the sound of crashing waves. He realized that he had finally found a Selkie. He watched as she played with the other seals, her movements as graceful as a dancer's. Ewan knew that he had to meet her, to find a way to bring her into his life. As the Selkie woman turned her gaze towards the sea, Ewan saw his chance. He crept closer to the rocky outcropping, and when he was close enough, he quickly snatched her sealskin and hid it behind a pile of rocks. The Selkie, unaware of what had just happened, continued to play, blissfully ignorant of the fisherman's actions. Ewan, his heart pounding with anticipation, waited for the moment when he could speak to the enchanting Selkie woman, and perhaps bring a little magic into his solitary life. Chapter 2: Enchantment by the Shore. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a warm glow on the beach, Ewan decided it was time to approach the Selkie woman. Hiding her sealskin under his arm, he walked towards her, his heart racing.
"Good evening,"
Ewan called out, trying to sound as casual as possible. The Selkie woman turned to face him, her eyes widening in surprise.
"Good evening,"
she replied, her voice soft and melodic, like the song of a siren.
"My name is Ewan,"
he said, extending his hand to her.
"I saw you from a distance, and I couldn't help but be captivated by your beauty."
The Selkie woman, who introduced herself as Alana, looked at him with a mixture of curiosity and wariness.
Thank you, Ewan, but I must be going now.
She said, looking around for her seal skin. Ewan hesitated for a moment, then decided to reveal the truth.
I have your seal skin.
He admitted, holding it out to her.
I took it because I couldn't bear the thought of you leaving.
Alina's eyes filled with a mix of sadness and anger.
Why would you do such a thing? I cannot return to the sea without my skin.
I'm sorry, but I couldn't help myself.
Ewan said, his voice filled with genuine remorse.
I'm lonely, and I thought that perhaps you could stay with me and we could learn to love each other.
Alana looked at him, her eyes searching his face for any sign of deceit.
You would keep me from my true home just to ease your loneliness?
Ewan nodded, his eyes downcast.
I know it's selfish, but I can't help how I feel.
Alana sighed, realizing that she had no choice but to stay with Ewan, at least for now.
Very well, I will stay with you, but only until I can find a way to get my skin back.
And so Ewan and Alana began their life together, with Ewan teaching her the ways of the island and its people, while Alana shared her enchanting songs and stories of the sea. Despite their unusual beginnings, Ewan and Alana grew close, finding solace in each other's company. But Alina's heart never stopped longing for the sea, and her eyes would often drift towards the waves, a wistful expression on her face. Ewan, seeing her longing, knew that he could not keep her from her true home forever. He vowed to find a way to make amends for his actions and allow Alana to return to the sea, even if it meant losing her forever. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Ewan and Alina's relationship deepened, and they eventually married, hoping that their love could bridge the divide between their two worlds. But the sea's call was always present, whispering in Alina's ear, reminding her of the life she had left behind. Chapter 3: A Life Unraveled. Time passed, and Ewan and Alina's life together continued. They built a cozy cottage by the sea, where Alana could always hear the waves crashing against the shore. Eventually, the couple welcomed two beautiful children into their lives, a girl named Moray and a boy named Finn. The children brought joy and laughter to their home, filling the air with the sounds of play and love. Alana did her best to adapt to life as a human, but she could never fully ignore the call of the sea. She would often stand by the water's edge, watching the seals play in the surf, her heart aching to join them. Ewan noticed Alina's longing and did his best to make her happy, teaching her how to garden and cook, hoping these new skills would help anchor her to their life on land. One day, as they walked along the beach, Alana shared her feelings with Ewan.
I love you and our children, but my heart still yearns for the sea. I feel like a part of me is missing.
Ewan held her close, his own heart heavy with the weight of her sadness.
I know. Alana, I wish there was something I could do to make it easier for you.
Despite her longing, Alana did her best to be a loving wife and mother, and the family enjoyed many happy moments together. They would often gather on the beach, where Alana would sing her enchanting Selkie songs to the children, who would listen in awe, their eyes wide with wonder. Yet, as the years went by, the tension between Ewan and Alana grew, fueled by her longing for the sea and his guilt over keeping her from it. The villagers, too, began to notice Alina's otherworldly beauty and grace, whispering among themselves about her mysterious past. One evening, as the family sat around the fire, Maura asked her mother,
Mama, why do you always look so sad when you watch the seals?
Alana hesitated, unsure of how to answer her daughter's innocent question. Ewan interjected.
Your mother just misses her old home. That's all.
But where did Mama come from?
Finn chimed in, his curiosity piqued. Alana glanced at Ewan, who nodded gently, giving her permission to share her story.
I am a Selkie,
She began.
a creature of the sea who can shed her seal skin to walk on land as a human. Your father found me on the beach and brought me here to live with him. I love our life together, but I cannot help but miss the sea.
The children listened intently, their eyes wide with amazement.
Will you ever be able to go back, Mama?
Mora asked. Alana looked at Ewan, her eyes filled with a mix of hope and sadness.
Perhaps one day, my love. But for now, I am here with you and your father, and that is enough.
As the family went to bed that night, the tension between Ewan and Alana lingered, a silent reminder of the price they had both paid for their love. The call of the sea continued to tug at Alina's heart, an ever-present reminder of the life she had left behind. Chapter 4: Whispers Among the Waves. As the years passed, Alina's otherworldly beauty and mysterious past fueled the curiosity of the islanders. It wasn't long before whispers of her true nature began to spread through the village, and Ewan found himself increasingly troubled by the growing suspicions surrounding his wife. He knew it was his responsibility to protect Alina's secret, but the weight of the truth was becoming harder and harder to bear. One day, while Ewan was at the market, he overheard a group of villagers discussing Alana.
Have you ever noticed how she seems to know exactly when the fish will be biting?
One of the fishermen said.
It's almost as if she can talk to them, and her singing.
Another added.
It's not like any song I've ever heard. It sounds like it comes from the depths of the sea itself.
Ewan hurried away, his heart pounding with worry. He knew he needed to do something to keep Alina's true identity a secret, but he wasn't sure what that something was. Back at home, Ewan decided to speak with Alana about the rumors.
My love, the villagers are growing more and more suspicious of your true nature. We must be careful.
Alana looked at him with concern.
What can we do, Ewan? I cannot change who I am.
Ewan's eyes filled with determination.
I know, but we must find a way to protect our family. I will do whatever it takes to keep you and our children safe.
Over the next few weeks, Ewan and Alana took great care to guard their secret. They avoided the other villagers as much as possible, and Alana made sure to keep her Selkie songs a secret from anyone outside their family. Still, the whispers continued to grow louder, and the couple's love was tested by the mounting pressure. One evening, as they sat together by the fire, Ewan turned to Alana.
My love, I fear our secret will not be safe for much longer. We must leave this island and find a new place to call home, where no one knows of your past.
Alana looked at him, tears welling up in her eyes.
But Ewan, this is our home. Our children have known nothing else. And what about your life as a fisherman? You love the sea as much as I do.
Ewan sighed, his heart heavy.
I know, but our family's safety is more important than anything. We must do what is best for all of us.
As the couple discussed their future, they held each other close, their love both a source of strength and a cause of their troubles. For now, they would stay on the island, but the shadows of suspicion and the weight of their secret continued to grow, threatening to tear their family apart. Chapter 5: A Fateful Discovery. One morning, as the sun rose over the horizon, Ewan set out for a long day of fishing. He kissed Alana goodbye and left her with their children, promising to return by nightfall. Alana waved as Ewan's boat disappeared into the distance, her heart heavy with the knowledge that they could no longer stay on the island. While Alana busied herself with chores, the children played together in their small home. Their youngest, a curious and adventurous little girl named Mary, wandered into Ewan and Alina's bedroom. As she rummaged through a chest at the foot of their bed, her small hands came across a bundle wrapped in an old piece of cloth. Mary excitedly brought her discovery to Alana.
Mama, look what I found.
She exclaimed, her eyes wide with curiosity.
What is it?
Alana felt her heart skip a beat as she took the bundle from her daughter's hands. With trembling fingers, she unwrapped the cloth, revealing the soft, shimmering sealskin that she had not seen in years. A wave of emotions washed over her, longing, sadness, and a glimmer of hope.
Mary, where did you find this?
Alana asked softly, trying to hide her tears.
In the big chest, Mama.
Mary replied innocently.
Is it something special?
Alana hesitated, uncertain of how to respond. She knew that this discovery would change everything for their family.
Yes, my dear, it is very special.
She finally said, embracing her daughter. As the day wore on, Alana could not shake the feeling of urgency that gripped her heart. The sea called to her, louder than ever before. She knew that she could not stay with Ewan and their children as much as she loved them. The sealskin was the key to her freedom, and she could no longer ignore its call. That evening, as twilight settled over the island, Alana gathered her children together.
My darlings, I must tell you a secret.
She said, her voice wavering with emotion.
I am not like other mothers. I am a Selkie, a creature of the sea, and now, with my seal skin returned to me, I must return to the ocean.
The children listened, their eyes wide with a mix of wonder and sadness. They had always sensed something magical about their mother, but they never could have imagined the truth.
But Mama, we don't want you to leave,
cried Mary, clinging to Alina's leg. Alana hugged her children tightly, tears streaming down her cheeks.
I love you all more than words can say, but the sea is a part of me, and I cannot ignore its call any longer. I must go.
Chapter 6: A Heartrending Farewell. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting its golden light across the shoreline, Alana knew it was time to say goodbye. She gathered her children close, their tearful faces a testament to the love they shared.
Remember, my darlings, no matter where I am, I will always love you.
Alana whispered, her own tears flowing freely.
Listen to the wind and the waves, and know that I am always with you in your hearts.
Her children clung to her, their small arms wrapped tightly around her waist.
We love you too, Mama,
murmured her eldest son, his voice choked with emotion. Alana kissed each of her children gently on the forehead, a mother's blessing that would have to last them a lifetime. Then, with one final embrace, she released them and took a step back, clutching the precious sealskin to her chest. Slowly, she draped the shimmering pelt over her shoulders. As it touched her skin, a magical transformation began. Her legs fused together, becoming a sleek, powerful tail. Her long hair, once the color of seafoam, darkened to match the deep, inky hue of her sealskin. In moments, Alana had become a Selkie once more, her true form restored. Her children watched in awe as she gracefully slid into the water, her tears mingling with the salty sea. Alana turned back to face them, her eyes full of love and sorrow.
Goodbye, my darlings.
She called, her voice carried by the wind.
Never forget how much I love you.
As Alana swam further from shore, her children stood on the beach, their tiny hands waving until she was nothing more than a speck on the horizon. With heavy hearts, they turned and walked back to their home, where the wind whispered through the trees, carrying the haunting melody of the Selkie song. Unbeknownst to them, Ewan was making his way back to the island, his boat laden with fish from a bountiful day at sea. He had no idea of the heartache that awaited him, or the weight of the regret that would soon bear down on his soul. Chapter 7. The Weight of Regret. Ewan's heart was full of anticipation as he rowed back to the island, eager to share the day's catch with his family. However, as he approached the shore, he noticed a strange stillness in the air, as if the island itself held its breath. He hurried home, his intuition nagging at him, and found his children huddled together in the living room, tears streaming down their faces. Their eyes were red and puffy, and they clung to one another for comfort.
Where's your mother?
Ewan asked, his voice trembling with concern.
Daddy!
His eldest son whispered, his voice choked with emotion.
Mama's gone. She found her sealskin and returned to the sea.
Ewan's heart plummeted into the depths of despair. The realization that Alana had left them struck him like a bolt of lightning, and he sank to his knees, his entire body racked with sobs. As the days turned into weeks, the islanders whispered among themselves about Alina's sudden disappearance. Some believed she had been taken by the sea, while others spoke in hushed tones about the strange, ethereal beauty of the woman who had married their local fisherman. Ewan, stricken with guilt and sorrow, found solace in the sea that had given him Alana and ultimately taken her away. He spent hours sitting on the shore, staring out at the endless expanse of water, hoping for a glimpse of her sleek, dark form. But he understood that Alana had chosen her freedom, and he had no right to keep her tied to a life that stifled her true nature. The children, too, struggled to come to terms with their mother's absence. They would stand on the beach, the wind whipping through their hair, and listen to the mournful cries of the seals that echoed across the waves. It was in those moments that they felt closest to their mother, the Selkie, who had loved them with all her heart. Ewan gradually learned to accept the consequences of his actions, understanding that love meant letting go. He dedicated his life to raising their children, teaching them the importance of love, freedom, and the magic that lived within the sea. Together, they forged a new life, one filled with both sorrow and joy, where the ocean's whispers brought memories of the enchanting Selkie who had forever changed their lives. Chapter 8. Echoes of the Past. Years passed, and the legend of the enchanting Selkie who had lived among them became woven into the fabric of the island. The story of Ewan and Alana served as a cautionary tale, teaching the islanders about the consequences of trying to control others and the importance of respecting one another's freedom. Though Alana had returned to the sea, she never forgot her human family. She would periodically come to the shore, her eyes filled with love and longing as she watched her children grow from a distance. Their laughter rang through the air, reaching her heart and filling it with a bittersweet joy. The children, now young adults, sensed their mother's presence and felt a connection to the world of the Selkies. They would sit on the beach, their eyes scanning the horizon, hoping for a glimpse of her sleek, dark form among the waves. One moonlit night, Ewan found himself walking along the shore, the salty breeze caressing his weathered face. He paused, his heart catching in his throat as he saw a familiar figure standing at the water's edge. Alana, her dark hair cascading over her shoulders, turned towards him, her eyes shining with anxious tears.
Ewan?
She whispered, her voice as soft as the lapping waves.
Alana.
He replied, the weight of years and regret hanging heavy in his voice. They stood there for a moment, the distance between them a chasm that could never be crossed. Ewan's heart ached as he realized the truth. They were two souls forever bound by love, yet eternally separated by their different worlds. Alana reached out, her fingers gently brushing Ewan's hand.
Promise me
She said, her voice filled with emotion.
that you'll teach our children about the world I come from. Help them understand the magic and the beauty of the sea.
I promise.
Ewan vowed, his eyes brimming with tears. As the years continued to pass, Ewan and his children maintained their connection to Alina's Selkie world. They learned to embrace the enchantment of the sea and the magic that lay beneath its surface. The story of their mother, the captivating Selkie who had graced their lives with her love, became a part of the island's lore, and the legend of Ewan and Alana lived on for generations to come.